Hi everyone, thanks for coming along. I'm not sure if you know, but Deakin have a set of graduate learning outcomes that all students are working towards during their degrees here. So I thought today we could look at these outcomes and explore how, as student leaders, we might have developed these. Joelle, would you like to start off? The list is just here if you'd like to choose one.
Okay, so I'll pick communication.
Sure.
The wonderful thing about being a leader is that you always have different groups coming to your sessions. So these groups sometimes they communicate differently. So some questions can work for them if they are phrased in a certain way, and that won't necessarily work for another group. So you have to think of different ways of communicating with the students at all time, which is really good. So sometimes you can use a question, or sometimes this question can be in the form of a diagram and you ask them to work on it. So I think that's a skill that I've acquired by being a leader at Deakin.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about problem solving.
Sure.
So during the sessions as a leader, usually we are faced with situations where we are not able to provide any feedback. And so we have to think of creative ways on our feet, and also to be able to think of interesting and creative ways to sort of get the students to be able to find out the answers themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lizzie.
I'm going to talk about global citizenship. So when you're a leader and you have study groups, often all the students in your group are from completely different backgrounds culturally, and then from different countries, they speak different languages. So when you're having discussions on subject matter, you have all these really interesting perspectives and takes on works, because they're talking from a perspective from maybe America or China or Korea, and so you're getting this amazing wealth of knowledge that you wouldn't get if you didn't have that diversity.
Yeah.
That's great, thanks. In regards to digital literacy, I know a couple of us have run past meetings through, I've forgotten what's it called. Do you know what the program is called? Link?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
through Link. So because we're across campus, running those meetings has been really interesting, learning how to set it up and communicating across campus using also the discussion sites has been really good. Joelle, would you like to choose another one?
Sure. Self-management. So it's really important when you're a leader to be organized, and also you have to take responsibility for all the activities that you do and how you direct the conversation and everything. So I think it's a great skill, because in everyday life, whenever you talk to people or you interact with people, you need self-management.
That's great.
Yep. So I'm going to talk about teamwork.
Sure.
So as a leader, sometimes we leaders have to work together to sort of create activities or share ideas. And in the sessions as well, when working with students, sometimes it's great to join in the conversations with them and work as a team with them to find out answers. So I feel that teamwork is a really important part in PASS as well. Yeah.
So probably I'll look at discipline-specific knowledge and capabilities. So I think as a leader, one of the really great benefits you get is you learn how to develop a more in-depth understanding of the subject you're working on. So in past, you're running study sessions for maybe sociology or accounting. You're, in a sense, looking at the subject matter from a different perspective, from a leader's perspective, and then passing that on to the students. And I think that's so valuable. But also, you're developing a professional relationship with the academics. So it's just, you're able to develop a really sound understanding of subject matter in your degree, and also knowing how to apply that in a professional setting, in a sense.
So I want to talk about critical thinking. So as part of the Deakin Learning Outcomes, we are expected to know how to critically evaluate the information that we get, and how to question it, and the rationale behind how the information is derived. So as a PASS leader, in our sessions, we are always have to critically evaluate and think when the students are giving us the answers, and we had to ask them questions like how and why, and they think that's how they got the answer. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing that, Teddy. It sounds like we're all working towards these learning outcomes nicely. Would you guys like to get some Jimmy Choo shoes with me now?
Sure.
Yeah.